Welcome everyone to another failed experiment so that I didn't really want it to make like that. Although after 2 years ago, 6 and 7 marathon hours of packaging open source stuff, I thought, how much light? No. Maybe we should polish GNOME KDE a little bit so that it doesn't look so embarrassingly broken, or T2 Linux, which is not really our fault. I thought I fine-tuned some dependencies to make at least some basic things build, like GNOME. Actually, I only wanted to see how much random chaos it takes to build GNOME Terminal. And GNOME Terminal already wants to, and that is my criticism, right, with this stuff. Way too complex, way too many dependencies, it's super crazy stuff. GNOME Terminal now also needs Nautilus, also if Nautilus is not already there. And so my valid criticism, and not a rant, this is, in my opinion, to be summarized as failed software architecture. Right? Way too complex stuff, like completely spaghetti stuff intermingled there with each other. Why does something like a freaking terminal need Nautilus and GNOME Shell integration? Because the next thing is, okay, I said this before, like 20 years ago, configure, like if this stuff is optional. This modern Meson and stuff, everyone applauding this on news sites, like yay, another build system. It's like actually someone on Twitter the other day said, someone famous, all build systems suck, right? And yes, I'm aware autoconf and automake and stuff suck majorly as well, but like inventing the 25th build system here, it's like sucking the same. And what the biggest sucking stuff here of this Meson is, why do optional dependencies hard fail, right? If this stuff is optional, why do I need to manually guide the stuff all over the place? I mean, it's basically what autoconf stuff usually did by default. Like if it's an optional dependency, it's not there, like just not freaking using it, right? Because you build GNOME terminal and it fails already with like, I don't want some Nautilus stuff. And the next thing is also, I think it needs evolution. Actually, I didn't check in or I went live. So by the way, today shittier audio quality. I forgot the lavalier microphone at home. Of course I did, dongles. Probably need the second one, so garbage headset, I hope not that bad. Difference comes below if you hear a difference in this audio. So now it wants GNOME Shell. Oh wait, no wait, it wants GNOME Shell. That is a dependency chain. So the dependency chain continues even more crazy. GNOME Terminal wants GNOME Shell. And the crazy thing is they don't check in Meson for that. It fails then at build time because it doesn't have some. Do we still have that in the log? Did I already maybe somehow control C that in an unfortunate moment? As far as I remember, it errors out, so it configures and then errors out with the first stuff at build time with dbus, GNOME Shell, service provider XML needed by source term. It's like, so yeah, thank you very much for that amazing achievement. You have so many dependencies that you don't even check. Okay, so much to light. Sun is a little bit variable today, variable length sun rays today. Obviously, last days of late summer. Yeah, so many dependencies that they don't keep track of them anymore. And what I really mean with it, I mean, not only I said it before, for me, 20 years in this hobby business, these are way too many dependencies, right? If they even byte, what did they have there? So crazy dependencies, I forget the name. They had some, and a byte size. Seriously. And did they also had some, there are so many crazy dependencies. It is hilarious. I think this byte size was some human readable stuff. And GNOME Shell of all things wants at least Nautilus, I think, it's probably ecal is probably from Nautilus. Do they have ecal? It's probably from Nautilus. Like Alpine Linux would have that in the A port. Maybe we should call our stuff T port, just because. And what I also mean with failed software architecture, I mean, many people also did already not like this, was it Cobra or whatnot, distributed remote call, whatever stuff of GNOME 1 and 2 and whatnot. But how this really is felt architecture is you shouldn't intermingle modules and stuff that need each other, right? Why does GNOME terminal need GNOME shell? And no matter what integration, this module should be more freestanding. They should not even depend on each other. And then something like GNOME shell, if there should be some widget for the stuff, there should be optional additional extension stuff, not like some core GNOME shell thing depend on bloody Nautilus stuff. This is base stuff that shouldn't depend on such fancy big applications that, as far as I remember, most... Did I say Nautilus? Actually, I think I meant something else. Evolution. Did I mean Evolution? These crazy names. I think it's Evolution. It's probably also versus E. Sorry, misspoke. Crazy names. Why does all this GNOME stuff not start with G, right? As far as I remember, most people, like 20 years ago when Linux was latest and greatest and the next hot thing, most people even hated Nautilus because it was such small molossus. And also this Evolution, as far as I remember. Most people hate this Microsoft-style software that was so big that it was even slow back in the day. Probably still slow. I mean, not even mention all the JavaScript integration and voila, dynamic language and stuff, but this stuff, in my opinion, shouldn't be like that. I only wanted to, for you playing along at home, make T2 a little bit better, obviously also world domination. But probably we need to start a bank and similar such stuff. Cheers. Probably more world domination with a bank and car company and space business. Maybe we should open a space hotel. Because obviously there is no money to make really with Linux desktops. Let's see if that is also an optional dependency that could be was it equal. So maybe, all right, I thought it is, I think I wanted to start to make a video because was it here? Yeah, equal require there. So this does not look like optional. And also look at all those dependencies, right? I mean, sure, GDK, GIO, but wow, this already... I probably, you know, I just wanted to maybe quickly make GNOME a little bit better supported in T2 for you playing at home. But I lose already... I mean, the thing is, why should I even waste my time on stuff I don't even want to use? And that is, on the software architecture glance, here already makes my stomach turn over. GCR, whatever that is today. How do you even pronunciation? People make fun of pronunciation, dynamic island stuff, or whatever surrounding stuff. It's like, good luck. GJS, GJS. Oh, no, maybe better just say GNOME.js. So last time I didn't even, as far as I remember, a year ago, I didn't even got GJS. Maybe I should call GGS to work. I didn't even find which strange JavaScript fork it wanted. Yeah, so much to why does it stuff not just freaking build more. So this was evolution, right? Probably it would be more, and also look how many crazy dependencies it pulls in. Also Glade and libgnome I would understand to some degree. Some of them might be optional, which we probably need to flag a little bit more. The problem is I don't even want to build all this stuff, especially not... does it work like that? Maybe not, unfortunately. So I don't really want to build that today. So stuff needing a p-opt, like argument parsing stuff, because obviously let's GNOME queuing. Pilot link, yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is, maybe it's an optional dependency. maybe it isn't. Also, I don't want to build CMonkey today, although maybe that was the JavaScript engine I tried to use. Let's try to build just select the dependencies and see what happens with those. It's also, I mean, the only win-win is just testing and more testing. So it's a brand new installation of T2, the fast optimized one. So it's basically also some surrounding testing of stuff I don't usually build for good reasons, because, yeah, YOLO. Actually, you know what? We probably should have run this in Tmux. Yeah, no, we messed up some stuff. Actually, I had this in Tmux before. It was stupid to close this Tmux. I want to put that in Tmux because this is one. We probably have some partially downloads from control. Let's see. I mean, the only other thing, so yeah, win-win of at least testing how reliable. Some shit really wants to. Oh wait, why does it want? I can't mix this shit up. So this Python is 3, and maybe this old shit fails with Python 3. Of something of that sort. GCK. Okay, GNOME. But wait a second. Oh no, GCK. It's not GNOME keyring. Yeah. This is way too. I even forgot. Maybe 15 years ago I knew what this GNOME Bono. I don't even know if they still use it or obsolete component. Yay! Designed to create reusable software components, compound documents, resembles OLE. Yeah, and people hated this stuff back in the day. I mean, OLE slow and security vulnerabilities and stuff, and then GNOME people basically inspired from all Microsoft technology. Yeah, where is even? Oh wait, this is so wrong. Blues are cool, syntax error. Okay, this pilot link, I wonder, maybe it's even so much old stuff that. Oh, this also. Oh wait, don't tell me there's Rarian the new scroll scraper. Probably something of that sort. It's spelled like that. Where was it? Yeah, issues in GNOME document catalog system, formerly known as Spoon. Help browser, so that how is it with? There it has replaced scroll scrapers originally designed. Provides it. What sentence is that? It provides an API. Quality journalism. Okay, so that sounds. I mean, this is the only win-win of right. I'm disappointed. I don't want to use it. Maybe I should actually open feature bounties. Or if I doesn't want to fix, like, spend some hour or two going, like, sorting this stuff, because I obviously have other stuff to do. It's just like win-win of accelerating our Linux distribution from the top 100 to the top 10 Linux distributions by 2023 or so. At least before I retire. Cheers. So there is some win-win of maybe we should just delete scroll keepers in, or at least alright, this is also somewhere else maybe. Let's maybe, oh wait, this is already disabled by default. So when was the last update? Okay, apparently long. Updated, renamed, updated. Okay, it's the last update so freaking long ago. Actually, we can blame that. Okay, no tech updated the. That is a little bit unfortunate, which is generally why I don't like this tree-wide updates. Although sometimes I do them a little bit. Okay, here's something. Also this might also be another tree-wide download URL thing. Yeah, so apparently this stuff is super old. If that was the last update. That was 03. Yeah, so maybe... Did I copy that? That was in 2004. I guess we can schedule that for removal then. But it's still built. Hey, quality C software. So yeah, that is the only benefit of finding such totally abandoned component. What was that though? Alright, this is actually, although maybe that's also partially that. Oh, this scroll. Okay, that is actually a good hint of that inclusion. I need to get rid of that stuff too. And this is also what otherwise is known as bitrot. Why is... Oh, maybe in... Oh, there it is coming from. Although I have the feeling if this name, if that is functionality is similar, we might need some infinity. Ah, das. Let's move it there. And here we have wildcards, here not fully. I think the other was fully wild, or was it not? Oh no. Oh no, yes, the other was fully wildcarded. We might rename that and need to adapt it. It's probably excluding some rebuild document help catalog things. Yeah, so the dependencies chain is crazy, right? I mean, if you build a desktop shell based on HTML and JavaScript, then you obviously have a HTML engine and JavaScript. It is just set what... It's not, in my opinion, it's not a surprise that we don't have the Linux desktop except maybe on the Steam Deck or stuff, which is unsurprisingly using KDE Plasma. If that is the best way, or yeah, others. I mean, the crazy thing is I never liked GNOME, not even 20 years ago. And for similar criticism, right? 20 years ago, it was old-fashioned C technology, especially with all this Windows-inspired OLE-like stuff. And 20 years later, we are at a total dependency and architectural nightmare here, which I still need to continue to clean up a little bit day by day. There is a video driver update. Thanks for that. We can test build that here live on this channel. Also, data should update some. Is this wow? Oh, it's a P opt update just out. Hey, C argument pathing helper just updated. Stop the presses. Breaking news. That is P opt, obviously. Actually, when we were building this, data is like hold my beer. It's like data there, airbot there running on the rack behind me. So Mesa, you say actually last night I updated already Vulkan headers and stuff. So with all this stuff live on YouTube, which I totally are thankful for you sharing, liking, subscribing, and Patreon sponsorship there on GitHub, OnlyFans, or YouTube membership, or just some good merch, is exactly what we can re-enable T2 to be so up to date. Oh wait, you say 2204, but we're 22, so I mistyped that. It sounds already newer than That's so recent. Mesa 2204 sounds older than what we had, but thank you. Due to the fact that they lie, everyone got into error where there is nothing more to lie. Catch a blank screen. What? Due to the fact that they lie, everyone gets into an error. This is when there is nothing more to lie and they catch a black screen. Yeah. Whatever. Guess. Cheers. Yeah, maybe we commit some GNOME stuff here and give what even was, alright, this was this one. So don't see the first line. It's a luxury of live streaming from a luxury, not nah. Scroll keeper. Varian, very obsolete scroll keeper, at least one obsolete package. That's probably time. The other stuff was just some... Alright, shit, I could have committed that together. That's what it is. I wonder if I wonder if KDE does a little bit better these days. Which maybe one wants to run other Docker-like container images for KDE and GNOME because, but yeah, I mean certainly other people agree somewhat to that. Let's get you some emerging of. Did I try Kate already or stuff? Let's see how. Yeah, also obviously similar dependency. That's also I criticize my 6 and 7 hour monster marathon live streams 2 and 3 years ago. KDE not that much different, and at least KDE back in the day. I think I preferred a little bit more. It certainly wasn't perfect and stuff, but also building. They had like a dozen packages, right? KDE Base and Arts, their multimedia server, KDE Base, Conqueror, and KDE PIM and KDE Games. Now it's somewhat similar. All right, I remember KDE. Actually, that is also a good thing that I'm reminded about that one. But maybe I should first finish the sentence that KDE is a similar dependency nightmare now. I also remember most stuff will probably not build. I think I had to YOLO. That is also time-wasting nonsense. I had to quirk this stupid dependency thing here. What does that one? KI. Because they're amazing. Obviously not. CMake stuff doesn't find our docbook. That was a little bit strange. Which probably, once upon a time I had this on my to-do before, I probably accidentally deleted that. Actually this I did here, and that too. Hey, we did some to-dos. Which is also crazy, something needed libpci package config that is apparently not in the PCI utils config 2022, and major components don't ship with the package config file. Here, I have this on the to-do. Yay, better KDE and GNOME depths. Yay. I wanted KDE doc stuff, or whatever precise name that was. But the other thing is also maybe check our doc book x install file thing. And this is also crazy thing. This docbook, XML docbook stuff was already a mess 15 years ago because different versions and every distribution, like all the AAA top tier ones, put it at different places. It's also crazy, right? That even 15 years ago, people couldn't agree just where to put the bloody XML schemas for docbook stuff. And now we have a situation, I think usually stuff is working in T2 where we put this since 15 years, which probably was a somewhat straightforward directory choice, I hope. Except like KDE then. But at least, oh no, this is not. So yeah, I think all are failing due to kdoc whatever stuff, which probably, and which is the only other win-win except of getting, I really, it makes me really, you can't believe how depressive it makes me. We could have world domination and be the top tier desktop operating system before Mac and Windows and all their peak bugs if we for 20 years just got to act together, right? And not create such software architecture from hell that even open source enthusiasts don't want to use and don't prefer. But leave in the comments below, probably some people disagree and that everything is amazing and stuff. Although from all the other desktop environments that are out there of tiny ones and XFCE and other variants, you probably guess that other developers feel similar or have similar opinion. And welcome everyone. Do you have any video live about your career and professional background? Probably not dedicated. I always say some words in between here and there, but probably didn't thought it's necessary or that important to specifically do that. I can put it on my to-do too. Maybe probably 100,000 subscriber special stuff. So logs, and so let's see what, so probably Kate obviously totally fails, not finding ECM config. This is CMake extra config actually. Where is it? KDE. Oh, but this is installed. Why does it not? Although it is possible that we simply need to, because the directory might be new now. So this is just path inclusion, potentially maybe. Although there is not a single binary in there yet. Where was it even? ECM. Okay, they are there. Maybe it was pathless. Let's see what happens if we... what happens if we... Okay, remerge everything, obviously. Was it just the... What is it going... Let's check the first one. By the way, I fixed some FFmpeg and VDLAN client and OBS streamer config marginalities without making a further video about that the other day. Okay, maybe actually it's then missing that, apparently maybe. Because we split those not that long ago. Huh? We have them on. This is why. Qt5, so is it... Not sure which of this it is then. There was... Let's maybe try that one, not sure. It's not installed. Oh, that installs quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, let's see how that goes. I split them, and so far that was at least also a win-win of a little bit of success. Because now we don't have one fat monolithic Qt5 mega package, but this fine-grained stuff, so greatly improving compile times. And welcome everyone. Greatly, because previously you had Qt5 and that even on an epic thread-ripping Ryzen 15 or 50X it built like 20 minutes? At least like more than 20. And so now you can fine-grain build the stuff, which is so much better, especially when WebKit stuff fails and you disable it and later you need it for something, but that is also undefined reference to Qt3D core. Okay, that is probably, also let's continue that, so it's Qt5 3D. That is, so this build, which not ideal with GCC, but because you would think, I said this before, you would think it with stuff builds, well, it's 3D, right? Probably just 3D. So that, oh, this has already no LTO. How does it fail then? That comes from running state-of-the-art compiler technology. Or is it from undefined reference? Oh, this is Qt3D. Wait a second. Okay, that is not that much, and mostly 3D SSE. I really hate stuff like this. Camera lens. That is silly. Yeah, how should I know where this is missing? So it's not LTO apparently. That is already disabled. Often it is LTO. So probably some, yeah, C and C++ and SIMD. Now I would need to do Guru meditation and grabbing the KDE sources. Also, if you're wondering why I use such low-tech stuff, also what failed here now? Okay, at least some stuff built. Okay, that didn't. Okay, this Qt3D obviously didn't build. Why did that not build before when it was selected? So now I would need to, right, I wanted to say, so when you think why is this strange YouTuber not using some IDE because this doesn't scale for me, right? Hundreds of source packages, extracting them each time, and it makes no sense to load them all in IDEs and stuff. So low-tech stuff, like good old 70s Unix stuff of crap, because now I would need to find out where this even comes from and where it should be in, and why it gets disabled or not linked in and stuff. So LTO is already off. Although maybe we could, I mean, we could disable it. Is it all SSE or is it also AVX? It is a possibility though that our precious GCC wrapper is wrapping that away if they explicitly build some files. Although we built with march, should still have SSE and stuff, but yeah, I also mostly don't understand why this needs to recurrently fail like that. Let's maybe try to disable SSE and see if it works around that for now. What was it? Was it some QMake file or CMake? How did we configure that? Just make? We've run that with just make. No, I'm surprised. What? Or maybe it's custom Qt. At least that build now. Let's see if that fixes some of our, what was it even? The first was KI18N. This is KI internationalization. What's going on still with this stuff? So this is still not having Qt5 QML config, wherever that is coming from. And yeah, continuing with KDE, right? So it's what search engine your best friend. Qt declarative. Yeah, dependencies. It's not. Qt5 declarative. That is the only real win-win of my time wasting with this nonsense, because obviously I also work on headers. Cool, that's a little bit newer now since last night. Yeah, recurring theme is the only win-win of making T2 in general, sorting this stuff out. Because I totally understand Linux enthusiasts want their KDE and GNOME, although I learned to hate it. Previous video, ambivalent love and hate relationship with all this stuff. I also really don't see, I mean, sure, stuff at Microsoft and Google is also not the super very best, but even Apple has peak bugs, but at least the Apple stuff looks pretty. You need to give them that, as much as I believe they currently also have a lot of failing software and UI and usability issues. But from a totally realistic standpoint, of course, even with all of Apple's issues and usability nightmares and design fails in latest decade, they are still magnitude further ahead of usability and frameworks, right? Just look at that mess of framework dependency hell and APIs, right? You need to give Apple that. I would argue that the Objective-C stuff was, at least the frameworks, the UI frameworks were easier to use, and I mean, especially C, but even C++, we didn't even have that good C++ frameworks. I wouldn't call Qt particularly outstanding. And I would also argue that dynamic typing, or like also dynamic message passing stuff, made Objective-C way better suited than all the statically typed Qt and C stuff, C++ stuff. Especially Qt earlier wasn't even pure C++, but it was C++ with crazy, annoying micro preprocessor stuff, which was already a no-go for me 15 years ago. I mean, either you do it proper in a programming language or you don't. So, in my opinion, Objective-C was already better, and Swift certainly now even better, although slow and stuff. But yeah, this does unfortunately really not look the most rosy to me. I'm really sorry to be the messenger here of that stuff. Of course, this dependency fallout, or did this build? This even. Why does this extra not build? Let's try. I think so. This Qt, if I have extras, why does this not download? Why is this? That was X11. Why does this not download today? That was X11 extras, open source, except. What do we have there? What did it give? A 401? A 444? Oh wait, this download translated somehow. I think, did I? Okay, that works. So X11 extras error 515 4 tar. Oh wait, was there a zero download checksum in there? Oh, interesting. That means Qt5 extras. It probably means it did previously not download. What's wrong with this URL? Qt X11 extras. Ah, maybe this is everywhere? Oh no, everywhere, open source. File name also open source. 15 tags. What's wrong with the URL? I don't really see it on a first glance. It's probably me that didn't download for me the first time when I packaged it or something of that sort. Not sure what's going on here. Did download. So what was different? Ah, there was an S missing. Interesting. Now that we found that, do we have more downloads that... Maybe not. Yeah, there's somewhere grabbed wrong. What do I grab here? Ah, right. This is offset there. And also then space. How many are this? 6. Okay, QT is this. We have... it's not that many. Okay, nothing too serious. For the most part anyway. Let's try to build it. So yeah, and greetings everyone who tuned in. So at least some improvements each day, some small fixes and cleanups, and stuff keeps a bit rot away. Cheers. Probably SED'd that. I remember I had to SED some stuff around it. I probably fat fingered some SED thing there stuff. Oh. So then, do we have this XML thing that we... Okay, yeah, this, okay, we have this now. It's from Qt5 declarative. Amazing stuff, at least some improvements, as you can see. Did we use Kate? Probably use Kate, right? So theoretically, with the cache files, we urgently need to update. I said this 100 times. And again, this is only to really make sure that more people who try out are not immediately disappointed and disgusted from this non-compiling dependency stuff. And obviously, I totally understand it puts a bad light on D2 when all this actually... And sure, we didn't do our homework, like it is our full homework. The max Python version, Python module generator must be updated. Are you completely effing kidding me? Don't tell me that my Python is now too new for that shit as well. I mean, seriously? Is that even the latest? You can't mix this stuff up. It's is this the latest version, or there's 11, there is 10.650.3. What did I say we have there? 3.10.6. Does it even? Ah, yes, 3.10.7. Hey, we're at the forefront of Python technology apparently. Yeah, 2022, and we hardcode max Python versions somewhere. Maybe here, max version. Are you freaking kidding me? It's max version canary check 3.4.10 Python. What do we have? Do we have 11? No, we have 10. What even was it? 3.10 Python 3.10. What the heck is going on here? The max Python version. Or does it not find Python 3 max version 10 3. We have 3.10. What is the issue there? Maybe the search thing there in general doesn't work. Doesn't look to me a Max version problem to me. Or does it? Bizarre stuff. Did I rebuild the Python to be fully, because our cross-compiled Python is not fully functional? Did I rebuild that? Apparently I did. I mean, we could, should we, somehow this, I mean, it emerged without error though. Some package emerged Python 2 as well, which is not our default installation. Yeah, this is my life, right? Figuring out what the freaking heck is going on in this KDE extra CMake files with their bloody Python version. You would think such things are solved for decades. I mean, maybe this is also wrong. Find Python 3.10. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not that here. That is so silly. All I wanted was some KDE package, all I got was build errors. I probably also should have built with both that you see something. Don't tell me that builds now. This freaking builds now. But this is 3.10. Why do we need 3.11? Or does it? Oh, I rest my case. It's so silly. Why? How did I deserve it? Yeah. Hope you learned something. Except that all those open source build stuff is more messy than I would want it. But hey, some stuff starts to build. I remember some kdoc stuff. But I mean, yeah. So theoretically, we obviously should patch that because it helps little. If I should stick to my own pro tips and mantra of doing things right or not at all. What was this? Because I had over the last years live on YouTube, I sometimes kept like build quirks too long on my workstation in one of my dozens of working copies, which obviously also too many. So let's maybe patch it directly. Sorry, getting autumn. And we need to save on gas for preventing outages this winter. Thanks for that, Russia and previous politicians of not switching to greener energy sooner. Looking at you, conservatives. Thank you. So, patching that. Emerge that or build that. So, build verbose that thing. So, thanks for the Gesundheit. And so that was verbose. So, let's break into there of KDE extra. What was the file name? CMake. Hello? Ugh. Did I not? Why is there no? What have I done there? Did I not control C that? Was that not the build directory? You know what happened? This is already deleted. I control C that too late. Epic thread ripping too fast through that. That's probably what happened. Everything else makes no sense. There we have it. By the way, are we? Okay, some more build errors. KDE core. Yeah, I mean it's theoretically what we're here for, like 1 hour of dependency fine tuning for you playing along at home. Hey, it's not even 1 hour. Get surprisingly lots of stuff done in 1 hour live on YouTube. 1 hour live and 1 hour live on YouTube a day keeps the dependencies in order and the bitrate away. So patching this Python stuff, I don't quite get why. Also long paths, right? I probably should use some more. It's like if you you know you are in trouble if you have a. I mean theoretically 4K or 5K. you have such a display and your shell prompt is like, yeah, how many? 10 characters like in the DOS days. Yeah. Maybe I I don't know. Anyway, what is even the freaking file name here? Extra. Yeah. I have a feeling we have a serious problem with this path that up there. Also, I mean, it's overly long package names. I mean, sure, I can make it smaller for me also. But it's even still freaking half of... Nah, okay, anyway. Python, so... I usually find stuff... okay, we knew the file name actually, but otherwise just grab for some snippet and then... Not sure why, but there we have it. Leave in the comments below. Maybe this is not including, so maybe that is... but yeah, whatever the case might be, I don't care. I just want my source building and not failing. So fix file, hotfix max Python also. Oops, it's also did this wrong. I meant div, of course. But yeah, I mean, at least we make some progress, right? It's not like it's totally hopeless, but it's also not fulfilling. And this is also why I would not work on those projects. And this is also, maybe it's also why these projects are not attracting more skilled developers, because everyone who looks at the stuff is like, dude, why? Why does everything needs to be so spaghetti code and dependency nightmare? And I mean, you could argue it's my bias towards lean, I mean, and keep stuff small and simple, like KISS, whatever that was. Keep it stupid simple, small and simple. You could argue it is that bias, but I would still, I mean, I wouldn't actually mind a desktop environment as feature-rich or even better, I mean, feature-rich and less peak bugs than Apple's Windows Server and Mac Cocoa and modern AppKit and Swift UI stuff. But I would still want it like nicely modular separated and not like intertwined and this thing needs that, and which if you would have the source of Apple stuff, maybe their stuff is also as intertwined and stuff, but then you would hope Apple knows better and just, yeah. But usually corporate business, not open source code, usually looks also a total mess. So maybe it's better, maybe it isn't. But I would argue this stuff needs to be better, because that is... So core add-ons, where is this stuff coming from? KDE Core. So all of the stuff wants KDE Core add-ons, wherever that is coming. Oh, wait a second, this is KF was standing for Foundation, I think, KDE Foundation or something. Did I commit this already? Probably not, huh? Let's maybe check. I even have a cache file. Oh, I had committed it already. No, this... Oh, funny, I should have copy and pasted it in the first place. This is extra stuff because I like Max version is inclusive. But no, it doesn't surprise me, and regular subscribers probably also not. People like KISS probably do. People like KISS as much as KIT. Harder to work on, debug, all this stuff. Naming add-ons. Not a fan of the naming of add-ons, suffix and KDE. Yeah, and it totally makes it harder to work on and build, right? Especially, this stuff should not be as hard. Sure, I only put 7 hours in like last year or so, plus some surrounding maintenance burden. Sure, it is my fault that I abandoned and neglected KDE because it was so bad 10 years ago that I had like zero interest in it. Sure, it is my fault that I only put 7+ hours in it, but it should also not be such a nightmare. So where's this core stuff coming from? And then we call it a day. It's the inner fixing of, as Louis Rossman's landlord used to say, if I make it any better, you couldn't afford it anymore. So KDE, where would this be? Core. And there's also a thing, right? How should I know which freaking package this comes from now? Nothing like asking Google about this. I mean, not even the sources. They did. Libcave, is this? Don't tell me it's this name. Is it that name? What do I want to say? Ah, right. That I even had problems like easily Googling all their freaking sources, right? It's not like they had a nice list of all their 100 in the meantime, like growing from a dozen to 100. Also metric system, at least employing that. Actually, we can check that. How many? Let's fact check how many packages do we have approximately in here. Oh, 392. It's like nothing to see here. Although, granted, that includes some extra and third party and stuff, but so much to growing from a dozen to multiple hundreds. So which package name is that? KF, not really sure where. Do we have here? Because we don't have that. It's not really the most helpful. Do they have a package name here of... I mean, they call this libkf core. Is that really a thing? Or where is that really coming from? Here they have kcored on... maybe it's cored, but we didn't have... Is that... here's it. Why? How could I overlook that? Okay, anyway, there it is, kcored. Not sure why I didn't previously... Our former build was broken also. Wait, Kate wants to build before that? Obviously is not right. Let's see what's going on with... Probably it failed with whatever reason, so... Yeah, but this is also out of sync, right? What was the... I mean, it could also be that it builds now. But... Okay, it has core add-ons, but... Did it build now? Building. Don't even see that. Kcore. It even freaking built. So much. Okay, this is just build order that I need to optimize. At least we have that. I probably also should add like perfecting T2 if we really want to advance from the top 100 distribution to the top 10 distribution. We urgently not only get live on this channel, these dependencies right. I also need, even for my own sanity, add some... Hey, some stuff starts to build now. Live on this channel, cheers. Nothing like celebrating this with some unsponsored Mate tea here. But yeah, widget add-on, that's, needs more stuff. I also need, I mean, sure, I said this for years, we need to get rid, I knew it for kind of 15 years already, we need to get rid of our static priority and like numeric build order sorting. But hey, some more random stuff. I mean, I feel it's probably only an hour or two away from like really building KDE in, like most of KDE in GNOME much more smoother, which at least is something. Like basically after packaging all the stuff previously, like a little bit of dependency sorting stuff, because the problem is I didn't even put any effort into that, right? We only added, like auto-scripted, added all this stuff 2 years ago or so live on this channel in a 6 or 7 hour marathon sprint here live on this channel. They're on the moment channel probably, or somewhere of that sort. So all of those packages actually have the same numeric build ID because we just added 200 or so packages at the day. So that obviously needs sorting, although still, so what's item view, it's like, yeah, obviously there's some item view stuff. KDE, let's see, item. Hey, there's K item. It is crazy though that K item views, What's this build? Or is it okay item? Or is it? Oh no, okay, fair enough. I control T. I also need to. This is my fault. That is on me. At least I take blame myself when it's on me. The problem there is we thought like 20 years ago or 15 years ago that we made our stuff like control C safe, but apparently it is not. Maybe it was control C safe and some change in core utils or bash or whatever resulted. Also, why does item views? Resulted in a regression there. So basically, make actually this are tool things. T2. Also, yes, you see that why I don't make progress on my microkernel. So we will. I mean, the thing is, I'm totally also motivation driven to like really get T2 where it belongs in the top dozens of Linux distributions in use, because just looking at Alpine Linux build scripts the other day, I was not entirely impressed. And then it is waste of efforts if it's the usual, what I say so often, 10% stuff. 90% of the efforts of an amazing build system, pretty good metadata and stuff, and attention to detail, and then although we have done 90%, but then 90% of the experience is ruined by the last 10% of not having proper KDE and GNOME packages and dependencies, right? Obviously, the longer we delay that, the more users we alienate, and people will only, like everyone who tries that from a major news article like /dot or DistroWatch and stuff, everyone just remembers T2 as a distribution where you can't build KDE and GNOME because of the dependency nightmare. So each day we don't have that in better order is a day new users download the stuff and are disappointed, at least when they want to use KDE and GNOME. I mean, I only need a colorful terminal, so others need obviously more. So make T2 scripts more control C safe again, as well as I also see data actually is at least shooting itself in the food. There is also some T2 config parallel config safe. Again, I thought it is. We have there some config log, but given from my own experience with data, I totally see that sometimes data clobbers its own configs. That certainly ain't cool. So what's going on here with config widgets? Okay, completion. Yeah. Okay, text editor. We are at an hour mark, a little over. So let's like two things. I also need some. We have some old dependency sorting things. I wonder what exactly I need to do with. I probably should automate that. I mean, maybe it's not. Yeah, I'm torn between maybe just tweak some KDE stuff manually, not to ruin even more, and better instead of wasting hours of creating some current dependency mapping to static numeric build order. Maybe better put that effort into, although maybe it's a similar effort or shared effort, like a proper dependency dynamic resolution without the bloody static build priority, because it obviously can't stay like that any longer. So two last looks here. KXML UI. What's going on here? Okay, this is config widget something. What is even the kconfig? Oh, there is some. Why did this not emerge? Oh, wait a second. Maybe we should check the error first. Kconfig. Did that build? Oh, that built. And widgets? Widgets didn't build because UI add-ons. Yeah, and that is exactly what I mean. Ending the video as a doc tools. Okay, so I think this doc tool stuff did not build. That might be a doc. Oh wait, did we not build it? Doc tools. Did it build? But I think it didn't autocomplete, so probably it didn't. Okay, doc tools. Let's see. Okay, some nmap. It's obviously wrong. Yeah, I need some fine tuning. Maybe I sometimes do a little bit fine tuning to cure that a little bit in the short run to make it look less bad. It's probably just some, yeah, this is whatever shared, it's probably some shared file. Actually, I wonder how many packages depend on window maker. Obviously also ICQ with some. Okay, let's do those two for now. That certainly can't be right as localized. And you might wonder, is this little efforts of two dependencies, why do I even bother? This is just the last 10% that I just talked before, right? It is a small thing, but at least, and hiding that dependency marginality. And in the future, of course, we will regularly update this dependencies. This is the next big thing now that I got so much else in mostly working all day life on this channel. This is the next big thing that obviously I'm aware that urgently needs to better, and window maker and what the other KDoc tools. Like that. Okay, KDoc tools. So the last time I remember it didn't find it XML stuff. This will be for another day. Of course, is it still, yeah, so I remember I renamed there some stuff, but as usual, yesterday's video or the day before yesterday, domain specific, I think CMake stuff didn't really felt like debugging that even more like a year ago. So the last time I remember I added there, I renamed some stuff or added some link or stuff that was super stupid. Like I debugged it like 50 minutes and then it's like, yeah, I'm done with this DSL of CMake nonsense. But this time I need to like patch that. It's probably in the KDE CMake extras or so, or something or just in this one. I need to check. Yeah, I need to check. This needs to be better this time. So yeah, this was just a test. I will probably I just move this out of user X11. Not sure what I probably. I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for this video. At the end, some people tuned in and liked it more at the end. As usual, let's take a quick look at the comments and then we call it a day. I hope you learned something. At least we cleaned up some bitrot and made some dependency stuff better for you playing along at home. Alexander says usually do a 3-step build first, plus more stuff, then KDE total is around 200 packages for the full thing. Yeah, I probably, it's, as I said, it's just because all the packages were added at one day, 2 or so years ago, always the same dependency. So probably like, I probably SED over that a little bit, so like maybe next month or so. Dash says KDE Core, maybe like 40 packages. Yeah, it's still like a magnitude more. Like previously we had KDE Base. Although you could argue it is also KDE Base probably like on an 800 megahertz PowerPC iBook built like in something reasonable, I guess. 10 minutes or so. I even, maybe even on something powerful like a 1.8 gigahertz Athlon or so, it built in 10 minutes maybe, plus minus, give or take, just from memory. It wasn't that bad as Qt nowadays. You could argue the split in modules has the benefit of gradually building what you need. The only, well, I mean, now that we packaged it, it became better and less than a nightmare. But maybe it's also too fine-grained. Do they really need for each smaller K item list? Should this not be some KDE UI thing and not like K item list? Like seriously, there's also a limit of over fine granular splitting this stuff. But Dash says on KDE they have a nice tool to resolve dependencies. At least which do you mean? Dash says on GNOME the closest thing you have there is LFS. I remember there was a GNOME build thing, right? I remember even 15 years ago there was a shell script sort of GNOME build, maybe. I'm not sure which KDE thing you mean. If they have something like some build KDE script thing, that would be nice to look at too. But soon we have, like, if we once build all the stuff once and we have proper cache files, we can build the dependency graph and sort it ourselves, obviously. Alexander says currently working on manually establishing build order text files. It sounds like you want to work with T2, don't you? What stops you from using T2? Do you work on your own stuff or Linux from scratch or stuff? Maybe join efforts and don't delay. Join one of the best metadata build systems there today. Links, I don't know. I double checked 5 times. I don't know. The crazy stuff is YouTube, all the spam and bullshit content passes through, and links I never disabled. There is a button for that. I haven't enabled it. Maybe this bloody check mark doesn't work and the option defaults to prohibit links. Maybe I should once set this, and this is a 3-year problem, right? Apparently doesn't cure itself, and YouTube doesn't care. Maybe most content creators don't even want freaking links. I don't mind links, obviously. Maybe I should once enable that, like forbidding links, save it, and then deselect and save it to potentially maybe clear the config, but maybe YouTube is just blocking all links in any case, or whatever. So non-JIT browsers like probably run on PowerPC or RISC-V. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you learned something as amazing as it is that we have now the most people tuning in as usual. But happy that you tuned in. Catch you next time. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Oh, we also need to click on some merchandise. Oh, I can do this after this video because obviously YouTube doesn't save the merchandise links. So yeah, catch you next time. Have a good day or night.